Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Yesterday, we recorded an interview with Dennis Hull, who wore the number 10 for Team Canada back in the 1972 Summit Series. He played 4 games in that series, including Game 8, crucial Game 8, won by Canada by a score of 6-5. Dennis played 14 NHL seasons, brother of Bobby, uncle of Brett, 13 of those seasons with the Chicago Blackhawks, 1 with the Detroit Red Wings. We started the interview off by asking Dennis what goes through his mind when he realizes it's been 50 long years since Game 8.
Well, what goes through my mind is the fact that I had the opportunity to play on that team. And it's something that I think about, not all the time, but once in a while, every day, I think about how lucky I was to have played in that series. And I also got the chance to play with John Rattel and Rod Gilbert.
Speaking of those players, Jean Rattel, Rod Gilbert, known for their days with the Rangers, you assisted on Brad Park, he's a former Ranger, Brad Park's goal to make it 2-2, first period Game 8. What do you remember about that?
I remember that we thought we were going to win. There was no doubt in anybody's mind, because we think Canadians are the best hockey players and never, ever give up. And, I got a chance to play with those 2 guys because Vic Hadfield left the team and went home. So I was so lucky. And when I got back to Chicago, my manager, Tommy Ivan, called me in and he said, you must have impressed someone in New York. They just offered Vic Hadfield for you.
Oh, nice. The trade that never happened. Hey, Dennis, you just said something there. Canadians believe that they're going to always win when it comes to the game of hockey. However, you trailed 5-3 after 2 periods against the Russians. How strong was the belief in that dressing room between periods that you were going to come back?
No, we still believed it. I've never met a hockey player who ever thought he was going to lose. And they're always disappointed when they lose. And fortunately, we didn't get disappointed.
Hey, Dennis, take us through your mind going to Russia. You didn't know much about the country. What were your feelings about going overseas and what it could possibly be like there when you first arrived to Russia?
Well, I've been back since. And, it's a fabulous city now, but it was pretty rustic in 72.
Did you feel the countries? It was a lot about, the big red machine, the communist democracy in Canada. What were your feelings about how big this was in both countries, Dennis?
Well, I think originally they were going to call it the Friendly Series.
Yeah.
And obviously it didn't live up to that, and then they got it named the Summit Series. And the difference between, Russian communism and democracy I saw with my own eyes as I was walking back to the hotel. A soldier pulled up with a truck full of shovels, and he just went to the street and gave people a shovel, and they had to turn the sod over in this garden. But obviously he recognized someone from North America. He didn't offer me a shovel. I wish I could have taken one and had a picture doing something communist to.
Wow. Wasn't a great start for Canada. They got to Ken Dryden quickly, especially in the first game. You said in an interview that as the series went on, you guys felt more comfortable. What happened as the series went on where you guys obviously won towards the end of the last 3 games?
Well, first of all, when we were leaving Sweden to come to Moscow, I said to Harry Sinnen, Harry, we're really in tough here. He said, no, we're not. He said, we got rid of the riffraff and we're now a team. And his words still ring in my ears.
Yeah, and of course the team got in better shape as the series went on. Okay, Dennis, what do you remember about the moment Paul Henderson scored the winning goal?
It was a relief, and he got the title of Canadian Hockey Hero, and rightly so. And it's just uncalled for that he is not in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
When he scored the 3 biggest goals in Canadian hockey history.
Yeah. People forget that it wasn't just that goal. He also scored the winner in Game 6 and in Game 7. Also had a great game in Game 5. People forget about that. And, of course, Game 8. Dennis, hockey, people will argue that it's never been better. And maybe it all started with 1972. What do you think that series meant to the game of hockey?
Well, I think it showed a different way of playing. The Russians, in the first 3 or 4 games, they didn't use the slap shot. And I guess they saw us doing it, and they started slapping the puck.
Oh.
So that was one change.
Dennis, I got a question for you. What do you like about today's game in hockey, and what don't you like about today's game?
Well, I think, the players are bigger, stronger, all that stuff. We were bigger and stronger than the guys in the 40s. But the one thing I like and I wish I could have played with was no red line.
Yeah.
That really opens the game up.
And one more, Dennis. What do you think of the Blackhawks these days in their rebuild, your old team?
Boy, I've never been so disappointed in a team. They had such a high standard, and now it's just down at rock bottom. So they're probably going to play to see if they can get the first choice in the draft.
Yeah. Maybe you can make a comeback. Hey, Dennis, thanks for this. All the best. Great memories from 1972, and I can't imagine being on the ice for that like you were. Congratulations on that and everything else, and thanks so much for joining us.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you, guys.